kids, so raise your hand if you were excited to see me in the classroom and not in my garage getting ready to give you some crazy workout. I know. The last few weeks have been pretty rough, and I know I've been really pushing you. So I thought this week we would kind of change things up a little bit and focus on fruits and vegetables, because it's not just about physical activity, but it's about feeding your body the right nutrients and really fueling yourself so that you can get the most out of your daily activities, and not just workouts, but just life in general, right? So we're going to be looking at two different groups of people. We're going to be looking at botanists. Now, a botanist is somebody who studies plants. Okay, so that word again is botanist, and that is a scientist who is studying plants. Okay, so fruits, vegetables, just plants in general. And then we're going to be looking at how chefs, nutritionists, and just people in general, how we classify those fruits and vegetables. So first of all, let's talk about what a botanist thinks. So a botanist, they think anything with a seed. Okay, so scientifically, if it contains a seed or seeds or a pit, that is considered a fruit. So if it doesn't contain a seed, then it would be considered a vegetable. So let's take a look at some of the different items I brought for you today. So let's take a look at this one. Okay, it's an apple. It's fruit, right? Absolutely. Okay, what do you think about this plum? Exactly, again, it's a fruit. Okay, and then I also brought a peach, which this one's got a really large pit in the middle. Yeah, it's gonna be a fruit. And all your citrus fruits, okay? You cut these open and you're gonna have some seeds in there, just like oranges, grapefruits, okay? So yes, limes. So these are also fruits.
Well, when life gives you lemons.
And then we're gonna look at some things that are clearly vegetables, okay? So we have a sweet potato.
I am disgusted.
Okay, this grows in the ground, and this is considered a root vegetable. Okay, so we have a sweet potato. And this beautiful little Brussels sprout. That is a giant Brussels sprout. But so Brussels sprout, also we are going to consider that a vegetable. And then we have a tomato. What do you think about this guy? Yeah, a lot of you are saying vegetable. Okay, what's going to happen if you cut this open? What's going to be inside? Seeds. So if you're a botanist, you're going to call this a fruit. Okay. What about this guy? This is a spaghetti squash, and it's part of the squash family. So it would fit in the same family as, say, a pumpkin. Okay, so when you cut open that pumpkin, what are you scooping out? Seeds, exactly. So when you cut this guy open, it's got seeds. Now it grows on the ground, on a vine, okay? And it is considered, according to a botanist, this would be a fruit, right? Okay, how would we classify it though? What do you think about a squash? A lot of you are saying vegetable, right? Yeah, so a lot of us see this as a vegetable. We're gonna talk about why we think that. And then we have our avocados.
Taco, they got a new thing called free shavacado. Free shavacado.
So if you cut one of my favorites, cut this open, you're gonna have a seed. It grows on a tree. So from a botanist perspective, it's got a seed, it's gotta be a fruit, right? So what is the difference, do you think? Why do chefs not see this as a vegetable, even though if you cut it open, it's gonna have seeds, just like your lemon. So it's gonna have seeds. So a botanist is gonna see both of these as a fruit, but why do chefs categorize this, and nutritionists and people in general, why do we consider this more along the lines of a vegetable? Okay, think about the ones that I held up. Think about the flavor profiles of these, okay, compared to the flavor profile of these. Okay, what's the difference? Yes, sugar, they're sweeter, right? So an apple is gonna contain a larger amount of fructose, which is natural sugar, okay? It's what the sugar found in nature is called fructose. So it's gonna contain fructose, a lot more fructose in this than in this. Now, do vegetables still contain fructose? Yes, but such a minor amount. You can taste the sweetness and the sugar in an apple, but you might not taste the sweetness in a squash or a Brussels sprout because the fructose is drastically lower. So, looking at a botanist perspective, if it has a seed, it's a fruit. Looking at a chef perspective, nutritionist perspective, they're looking at fructose makes it fruit, okay? If savory versus sweet, this would be savory and this is gonna be sweet. So savory means if you're gonna cook it, say like with meats, if it's gonna be like a dinner food. So dinner foods tend to be vegetables, right? So we don't typically cook an apple with our steak or our chicken. You can, but you don't do it very often, okay? Because this will lead to a sweeter flavor profile. So anytime that you are making a savory dish and you're adding the botanist labeled fruit, okay, you're gonna consider it a vegetable. So a trick that some people use to classify fruits and vegetables is if it is a melon or grows on a tree, okay, so this would be growing on a tree, that's gonna be a fruit. If it grows on the ground or in the ground, or it's part of the squash family, such as these guys, okay, and Mr. Tomato, that's gonna be considered a vegetable. So I'm also gonna tell you a fun little fact about Mr. Tomato. So did you know that this guy ended up in the Supreme Court in 1893? True story. Not this exact tomato, but tomatoes in general ended up in the Supreme Court. So in 1893, the Supreme Court ruled that a tomato was a vegetable because a lot of our produce back then was brought over, imported from other countries, and vegetables contained a higher tax. Okay, so the country made more in tax money on vegetables. So the Supreme Court labeled this guy a vegetable, and it's kind of stuck ever since, right? So that is just an interesting fact about the tomato. In 1893, it became legally a vegetable, even though botanist says seeds, fruit. So what do you think is the difference? I think we talked about this already. It's gonna be the sugar content, the fructose content, right? So when we say that you need 7 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, you want to make sure that you keep your fruit, your sweet fructose choices a little lower than your vegetable choices. So if you have to have, say, 7 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, you're gonna wanna make 2 of them a sweet choice, okay, a fructose-based choice, and then your other choices should fall more into the savory side of things. So that is your lesson on fruits and vegetables, and your word of the day is botanist. Okay, what is a botanist? So you're gonna use this information and the sketch notes that you took for this video, and you are gonna be using those to answer the questions on the slides this week. So you're gonna be doing some classifications and some definitions and some other things. Oh, and since we're doing mostly nutrition this week, any workout that you do, make sure you label it on there on the slide and how long that you did it and what you did, and that will count as bonus points for you, okay? So I know some of you could use a little bonus points. So there you go. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.